Shalom, 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 Babakar. Kal halalina Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Hashai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Hashai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Hashai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops. Great millstone, shalom to the prophets of that body, shalom to the 144,000 and 1/3, the elect men, women, and children. May peace and blessings be upon your households. And may the time speed up even faster. Okay. And the Israelites as a bulk are the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians of Negro and Indian descent paternally. It doesn't matter what you look like on the outside. All right. If your father is a so-called black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, indigenous, all right, you are an Israelite. Okay. Now, whether you take heed to this truth is another factor. All right. But only the elect will take heed to this truth and pray in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. And it'll be like an overwhelming passion that you'll have for praying in the name and doing whatever you're going to do according to your particular lot or position. Okay. Once again, double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the prophets of that body, and shalom to the 144,000. The Most High's name is Yahweh, which means He exists, and His Son's name, His Son's name, the only begotten Son, His only begotten Son is Yahweh Shai, which means Redeemer. Okay, He's our Redeemer, our lawyer, who prays on our behalf to the Most High Yahweh. Okay, and hence the reason why He was sacrificed to bring back the elect. Okay, He was the sacrificial lamb. He is a sacrificial lamb, right? Now, after that, now what I want to talk about is I'm not going to play the video, of course. By the way, copyright, fair use, 1976. I'm not going to play the video, right? This Jake, his channel, interesting channel. You got a lot of these Jakes making these videos. He made one video of, I think it was him or was another Jake, of, Jake's not attending dating events no more. There's a whole bunch of women there, and they're all playing on their phones, waiting for, some testosterone to walk through the door. And no one's showing up to these dating events no more. Men, especially Israelite men, okay? When I say Israelite, like I said, so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, right, have given up on chasing women, all right? And those of you that are old enough to remember how it was in the 90s, from my memory, women were more forthcoming, women were more forward. Back then, they look at you and size you up and down the way you would size them up and down. From my memory, they were more forward. They're way more attractive back then too. And also, it didn't take. You don't have to jump over so many hurdles to acquire a woman. If you're a man, an Israelite man, and you look, somewhat decent, you're in shape, or what the women would say, you're good looking, right? And you had a decent job or whatever. Even if you had a basic job, you'd get the ladies, fine ones too. Nowadays, these women have, now these women are, all of them are models. All of them are, what do they call it? YouTube influencers. Then they have another job. They have like 4 or 5 jobs, but yet they've got time to date, right? And and in this world, in this captivity, the so-called black woman, especially, right? I mean, once again, also it's not that era of Keith Sweat. It's not that era of, R&B when how it was, baby, all that kind of shit. That's all out the window now, and a lot more Jake men, right, are choosing so-called white women or women of other nations, especially the so-called black men, because in this world, because Eve, was subservient and beguiled by the serpent, which who's in the form of the so-called white man today, because the serpent was a man, right? Not a literal serpent. Okay. Hence a reason why the so-called black woman is always against the so-called black man. All right. She's Eve. She's part of the. She's of the head tribes. Hence the reason why she's the worst. Um, she's the most mouthy. She's the most masculine. She's not a pillar of rest, like the scriptures say. A woman is supposed to be a pillar of rest. You know, man comes back from work. She's supposed to be a pillar of rest. Let him have his time to himself. Let him, just be quiet. Don't talk too much. Let him shower up. Get him a drink. Get him a beer or whatever. Get him a glass of wine. Let him calm down. You take care of the children. And when he's ready, he'll speak. You've got to be a pillar of rest. These women haven't been trained by the elder women, how to take care of their husbands and their children. Paraphrasing scripture, they're supposed to learn to, you know, uh, be a woman, learn how to cook and clean, learn how to clean themselves, learn how to keep their mouth shut. You know, um, when I'm saying all these things, it doesn't mean they're going to be slapped and put in the corner. I'm just saying, behave like a woman, right? They don't know how to do these things. They don't know how to take care of the children. They don't know how to clean. They don't know how to clean the house. They want to be the man. You can't have two captains of the ship. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work that way. You can't have two CEOs of a company. All right. You can't have two owners of a company. Well, you know what I mean, right? You can't have two captains of a ship. One wants to go one direction. The other one wants to go the other direction. That's imbalance. All right. You don't know whether you're coming or going. Hence the reason why, even though it's all done by design, and they are the curses pursuant to Deuteronomy 28 verse 54, right? But still, uh, you know, that's why another reason, because a man wants a pit of rest. Okay, a man wants attractiveness, femininity, long real hair. All right, no, a man doesn't want no female with tattoos either, right? I mean, the woman on the screen looks somewhat okay. I'm not going to focus on her. Who was the one that was going to focus on? Yeah, it was this one. Okay, as you can see, that's not her real hair. Look at that forehead. You know, you know. I mean, uh, that's a big ass forehead, right? Uh, she could be related to, someone who's, uh, who is known as Peggy Sue today. I'm not going to say no more. You know what I'm talking about. Uh, Similar forehead, right? She's the one who got pissed off that she went to a white only event, and there was probably about 4 or 5 so-called black women there, and all the jakes that came in, who she found attractive, were talking to the so-called white women. She even approached one. She tried to shoot her shot, and Jake didn't want to know. I mean, number one, she's not attractive. I mean, if you see her in the street, you're not gonna walk up to her. You know what I mean? You know, um, I mean, that's another reason. That's another curse which the Lord put on the so-called black woman. Because of her disobedience and her being subservient to the serpent and being beguiled. And she is. Listen, if Esau is Batman, the so-called so-called black woman is Robin. All right, she is just as bigger enemy, uh, like the so-called white man. All right, she is not a pillar of rest. Now, that's 99.99% of so-called black women out there, and Israelite women in general. All right, okay. You might have one or two here and there that could be okay or that are workable, but for the most part, you know, the Judite woman is not being approached. Nobody wants her. Hence the reason why she's the most ugliest as well. She looks like a man. She's got no hair. You know, um, you know. I mean, most of these women look like what's his name? Chris Eubank, the British boxer. They look like that. You know, I mean, even Chris Eubank, the British boxer, is married to a so-called white woman. I mean, she could be Jake. She could be an Israelite foreigner, but she looks like a so-called white woman. And let's be real, man. So-called white women look better anyway. You know what I mean? They look better, and so do other women of other nations. They look better. They're more feminine. They got real hair. They just put together better. You know, and this is the downfall of you so-called black women. Nobody wants you. You're going to be alone. You're going to be that bad bee you always wanted to be. You're going to be that sexy red. You're going to be, you're going to be that little Kim. You're going to be that Foxy Brown. You're going to be that independent woman. If you're so independent, why are you going to all these mixes? No men are showing up. That should be an indication, to your women that, you know what? Let me change my ways. Let me watch the men of the Lord, the men of Great Millstone. Let me learn how to be a lady. Let me how to be, subservient to my husband. Being subservient and having your husband, your Israelite husband, over you, ruling over you, is not a bad thing. You're just gonna, you're gonna have it easier. In fact, you're gonna be covered up. You're gonna be at home. You're gonna be taking care of the house, and he's gonna be going out to work. Don't you want that? Would you want to be out there as well in the office or working in some factory? I'm not there's many jobs left. I'm just saying. You know, don't you want that? There's a balance. Okay, a woman's nature. A man comes home to a clean house, food on the table. He's gonna go out there running to work, man, saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna work hard today," because all his energy is kept to focus on work, and obviously, to focus on work and earn the daily bread. And the woman's energy is there to look after her husband, to be loving to the children, to be kind, to be feminine, to be attentive, to be, to be, you know, uh, not to be mouthy, not to be aggressive, you know. But I mean, the last batch of decent so-called black women, so-called decent, okay, were probably maybe the '60s, maybe the early '70s. That new, even Israelite foreigner women, man, I can speak from experience. Israelite foreigner women are the same way. There's Judite women in different packages, bruv. I'm being real. They act the same effing way. The only difference is Israelite foreigner women look better. They don't have the bald head like a black woman. They have the long hair, you know. They look better. That's the only difference. But they got the same attitude, the ratchet, you know. Anyway, that's why, Jake doesn't want the headache. Jake doesn't want to have to deal with, oh, you can't deal with it. You can't handle a black woman. You can't handle this woman. You can't. No man wants to handle a woman. Why does a man have to handle a woman? What do you mean? So a man is supposed to for a piece of box, just to get laid. He's got to deal with all your mouth and your attitude, and has to be a therapist for you, and a good listener, and to have the right kind of emotions. He's too emotional. He's too feminine. Or then when he's showing emotions, oh, he's not masculine enough. You women can't even make up your mind. All right, women are gone. Right, the only men who are going to deal with you is basically men of other nations that want to have a fetish for so-called black women. All right, and there was a Jake that was walking around asking questions to men of different nations. Have you dated a black woman? And there was Edomite men basically saying they haven't dated a black woman, all right, which means romantically, so-called romantically. But he said he's been with black women. So basically, a lot of these so-called black women, right, are giving up the box easily to so-called white men. All right, they make you so-called black men, right, jump over hoop after hoop after hoop, jump over hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. Say, oh, you can't have none until after maybe a month or 2 months, 3 months. Me personally, I've never been with a woman and got it after a month. It's always within a week. Either the second or first, third day, or within a week. No man wants to wait that long to get some. When a man asks a woman out, we're not asking you out just to fucking hold hands and play patty cake and shit. We want some. Then once we get some, then maybe we can talk about going out and about. Here you are looking at a woman eye to eye, having some kind of meal, and here you are, you're looking at it, thinking, man, I want to hit that. I've got to get it. You know that is is not a thing that works that way. I'm being real. If you're a man, you understand. Yeah, no man wants a so-called black woman, man. All right, and the elders are right, man. If you got a black woman, that means you can't do no better. That's why the Lord cursed a so-called black woman, man. Gave her a fat body, gave her a bald head. She can't grow hair. She's not very attractive. She's got manly features. That's why a lot of these so-called black women, you know, put on fake hair because they know that a woman's glory is her long hair. It's attractive. You know, but they wear weave and they normalize wearing weave. Nobody wants you, man. All right, all that independent woman, all that I can do bad by myself. Ain't nothing going on but the rent. All that kind of shit. Listen, I grew up in England, bruv. I heard all the same shit growing up, seeing these vids from America, you know, and black women acting the same way over here. Same effing way. All right. Okay. Uh, so, you know, when Isaiah 4 and 1 kicks in for the elect men, you know, let's go to Isaiah 4 and 1. Isaiah 4 and 1, King James Version. Very few black women are going to be part of that number because a lot of our women are going to die on this side, man. All right? A lot of women are going to die, especially the so called black women, man. There's going to be some that's safe, you know, but a lot of them are going to go. Because remember, the Israelite man carries a seed. Pursuant to Numbers 1, verse 18, you are whatever your father is. We don't need the so called black woman. Okay, there were no, when the 12 tribes, uh, you know, all the 12 tribes, uh, you know, okay, when Jacob, okay, had 12 sons that became the 12 tribes, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? Salakia, when Isaac had uh, Jacob, right, and Jacob's name was changed to Israel, and from there the 12 tribes, right? All those 12 tribes that came about, right? None of them were from the Judite woman, all right? Because a man carries a seed, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's the loins you have to come through. Hence the reason why it says Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It doesn't say Abraham, Isaac, and you know, and it doesn't mention no woman's name there. It's all men because the man carries a seed. It doesn't matter how you look, but the man carries a seed. You don't need the so-called black woman. Only black, only Israelites. All right. Isaiah 4 and 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. And, you know, all this, all these boxes that you want ticked for for a so-called for an Israelite man to deal with you. All that, you know, that sheet that you have with all those boxes. Okay, he's got to be this, he's got to do this, he's got to be this, he's got to earn this much, he's got to look all these kinds of things. That sheet is going to be shredded and diced and sliced and chucked in the bin. It's not going to mean a damn thing because I tell you one thing: when all hell breaks loose, you're going to be looking for a man of the Lord. You're going to be looking for, you know, the men of Great Millstone, man, and affiliate camps. You're going to be looking for those men, okay? Because you're going to be looking for that covering, that protection. You're going to see the miraculous things that Yahweh Shemashai is going to be showing through his men. And you're going to say, oh man, I need protection, you know? Then you'll wake up. But then it's up to the Israelite man, that one of the men of the Lord, to accept you. And a lot of them are not going to accept you, so-called black women, man. That's for sure. All right. Very few and far in between. Very few are going to be accepted. Okay, because the so-called black woman has been uh, a thorn in the side of the so-called black man, along with the so-called white man. The so-called black woman has done the same thing. She's been a burden. She's been a problem. She's been a ball in a chain. All right, you're going to suffer for that. You understand? You will suffer for that. All right. And on that day, and you're going to also have to deal with the fact that a man can have more than one woman, as long as that woman is single, as long as that woman is not attached or betrothed or what they call in this world dating or even married to another man. An Israelite man can have as many women as he wants, provided those women are single. Hence the reason when you approach a woman, you ask her, are you with anybody? Are you dating anybody? If she has someone and she says, well, I mean, you know, I'm leaving this guy or whatever, you walk away from her. All right? Walk away from her. Okay? So you're allowed to, you know, you women have to deal with that also. All right, you have to wake up. Hence the reason why there's more women on this planet than men, because women were always, even in the ancient world, men had more than one woman. King Solomon had 1,000 women, man. All right, 1,000 women. I think it was 700 Israelite wives and 300 concubines, I believe. Right? Okay, and all of them gorgeous. What the world would say today a 10. All right, and none of them had cellulite. None of that. All pretty. None of them looked like big forehead wenches. All right, none of them had masculine features. All right, all look good. You're gonna have to deal with that. But you women are gonna be brought down, and this is just an example of you women being brought down. All right, right now you're being shown verbally. Jake don't want you. All right, you're feeling it spiritually. Men don't look at you no more. You know, I even see it all the time. Black women put a bit of makeup on, and most women for that matter. A so-called black woman, boy, she is, because other women try to emulate her as well, right? She puts that weave on, that wig on, a little bit of makeup, and she walks around like she thinks she's Beyonce, on the level of Beyonce, okay, right? And she thinks that when she looks around, men are gonna be staring at her. Men don't stare at them no more, and they don't like that. And they're feeling it too. That's why they're desperate. And women are emotional, and they like to voice their opinions. Hence the reason why they like to talk about their personal lives, all their hidden deep down feelings. Most people used to hide that sort of stuff, shit back in the day. Now they just let it loose, and the Most High is putting the spirit on these women to open their heart and their mind. You know, because most people that go to see a therapist are women anyway, right? Or bugged out men, right? And this is like therapy for them. They have to let it be known, and this is just a start, right? Start of the fall of you proud women in general, especially the so-called black woman. But women of all nations are making videos that no man is looking at them or wants them or, whatever. But the women of other nations are still being desired and still being approached to a certain degree. But you so-called black women, very few will approach you. Very few will approach you. Very few, if that. If men were approaching you, your needs were being met, you would not be voicing your opinion online. You know, this is just an example. What's this video from, by the way? 3 days ago. So yeah, start of the ending. Let's go to Genesis. I'm not going to go through the whole book of Genesis, or the whole story, but you guys know, all right, who beguiled Eve, and Eve is a so-called black woman today. Okay, Genesis 3:13, and the Lord Yahweh. Okay, so the Lord Yahweh, I'm going to say Yahweh Hashem Shai, and the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai said unto the woman, what is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And the Lord Yahweh Hashem Shai said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. All right. And who was on their belly eating dust? In the Caucasus Mountains, in Mount Seir. All right. You got still their relatives, some of them up in that same region, that can't walk and talk. All right. That's a so-called white man today. And Esau is still beguiling Eve. Still beguiling Eve. All right. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Okay? And that's why there's, enmity between man and woman, especially the Israelite man and Israelite woman. Right? And back in the day, when women had children, it would be like, I don't want to compare it to a bowel movement, but because having a child is a beautiful thing, for, an Israelite child for a woman. But it'd be basically uh, back in the day, back then, a woman have a child, it would just come out easy. It would just the baby would just slide right out with no pain or nothing. It'd be just like you know, just slide right out without too much effort or too much pain. Now you need all sorts of drugs and you're screaming, and some of you women are in pain for like damn near 8 hours or 12 hours or whatever. Hence the reason why it says here, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. Multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Okay? So, this is the reason why you go through the pain that you go through. All right? And in certain cases, there's these women out there that go through this and that are somewhat workable, and their husband rules over them, you know. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. All right. Ask a so-called black woman today, can your husband rule over you if she does have one, which is a rarity, right? That's why Esau likes to make mockery of so-called black woman, because she doesn't have a husband. The term husband is like a word that does not exist in the dictionary of a black woman's mind. All right. In her vocabulary, husband does not exist. It's baby daddy, my N word or my ninja. That's about it. Jeremiah 31 and 22. Jeremiah 31 and 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou black? How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord Yahweh Shemashah hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. That's your bad bees, You're compassing the man. Obviously, it starts with a so-called white woman, all right, but they still have some kind of infrastructure. I mean, this is their world, of course. This is their rulership, which is falling. But you so-called black women will be beguiled by the serpent again. You were told not to have a husband, not to have a man. You'll get more goodies. Paraphrasing scripture: a gift destroyeth the heart. Right? Keep the man out of the house. And Esau did that on purpose. To kick the man out of the house. They said that you can't live together if a woman has to, receive certain benefits, and that obviously increased, because of the curses, the lack of jobs, the lack of opportunities for the Israelite man to make it in this world. That's why they use that term, ghetto fabulous. You can live in the hood, earn your money on the side by hustling or whatever, and still get benefits and live ghetto fabulous, But it's really a detriment, you know. It's not a good thing, of course, And a woman has compassed a man, you know. When do you see, even in superhero movies, when do you ever see a so-called black man in the X-Men with spiritual power? They've got Halle Berry in there, and you know what she did in Monsters Ball, right? I mean, that's the black woman in a nutshell. So-called black woman in a nutshell, man. You know, when there's certain jobs or situations, in a company, there could be like 20, 30 so-called black men working there, and who's their supervisor or manager? A female, and sometimes a black female, so-called black female. But they'll do that by design. The people right at the top, they'll say, okay, give the job to a so-called black woman, but don't give it to a so-called black man. Let them work those menial jobs, but the managerial and uh, area manager positions or whatever, give it to a so-called black woman. They do that to create that further divide. Okay. I mean, you got regular so-called black men, that could work regular jobs, and they're dating women, white women, Asian women, Chinese, Japanese, or whatever, even East Indian women, Polynesian women. right? Obviously, Edomite so-called white women that are CEOs, that are managing directors. I used to work in a job, and the woman owned the company. She was a Russian chick, I believe. I think she was Russian. Very attractive, blonde, yeah. And obviously you hear stories. Staff members talk and say that she's first she was with a Latin guy, then now she's with a so-called black man, and she's like she dates regular Jakes. I mean, she's a SLUT, but Jake is getting it in, and these women of high stature date regular men. You know, with Israelite women, you got to be all these boxes have to be ticked. You know, let's be real, man. Women of other nations look better as well, man. You see a so-called black woman in the street, man. You don't even want to look at her twice. Hell no. First Timothy 2:12. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. Tell that to a so-called black woman, man. Where is that video going? Tell that to someone like her, right? Tell that to someone like her. Yeah. At least she's a little bit better looking, right? But tell it to someone like that, someone like her. Yeah. Tell that to them. Can they be quiet? Hmm? Or they're gonna have that, chicken head movement. Wave their finger about, snapping their neck, talking shit. Hmm? But some of you Jakes like to deal with that, don't you? Because you want the black queen. I want the black queen. You Jakes are into that black bullshit. Not, I can understand you want your children to look a certain way, but your children can still look a certain way with women of other nations, man. And even if they don't look like you exactly, they're still your seed, right? You are whatever your father is. May man. Kudos to you, man, if you want to deal with a so-called black woman. All right? Because she is not a pillar of rest. Okay? You're not gonna get. I mean, I saw a video several weeks back of a Jake who works night shift or something. Or no, he works 12 to 15, I think 12-hour shift or something. He came home. His wife is at home. And he's married her. She doesn't work, and the house is dirty, and she didn't even cook him a meal. And she said, "Cook for yourself." And then he was saying, "Okay, why did I marry you? You can't take care, do these things for me." And I thought to myself, okay, so you're working and you're paying for this bitch, and she can't even clean the house or cook for you. So you're just basically taking care of an overgrown child. I said, you need to get rid of her. You know, get yourself an Asian woman, man, Chinese, Japanese, or whatever, East Indian woman. That woman will give you a hand, man. Watch the movie Mississippi Masala, man, with Denzel Washington. Then the Indian girl help him, guide him, be subservient, huh? Give him box when he wanted it. She didn't play no games. Help him with his, I think he's a carpet cleaner or something. Help him with his business. Hmm? That's the difference, man. These heathen women know who the kings of the earth are. All right, even at your lower state, Jake, they know. All right, women of other nations will stay quiet. As soon as a man just looks at them a certain way, they're quiet. All right, First Timothy 2:12 again. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. Okay, scripture. Boldness, King James Version. Boldness. Boldness. Oh yeah, that's the one. Scab on the head, King James Version. All right, who are the daughters of Zion? Daughters of Israel. Okay, you Judite women. I mean, all you Israelite women, you so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. But this curse went on Eve because she was the one that was beguiled, and she's the one that's a problem. She's the one that's disobedient. She's the one that's, of the head tribe, Judah. All right, Isaiah 3:17. Therefore, the Lord Yahweh Shemashah will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts. What does that mean? You can't grow hair. In the ancient world, your hair was to the floor, and it will be like that again in the kingdom. On this side, you got to wear weaves because you know something's missing. The way the so-called white woman knows that something's missing from her, so she gets tans, spray tans, or whatever, right, to look a little bit brown. You so-called black women are ugly, all right, for the most part. You need wigs, weaves, tons of makeup, all right. In that day, the Lord Yahweh Shemashah will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet and their calls and their round tires like the moon, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs and the headbands and the tablets of the earrings, and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings. Okay, the Lord will take away these things, man. Okay, let's go to the talk. Isaiah 3:16. Moreover, the Lord Yahweh Shemashah saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty. Haughty. What is the definition of haughty? Definition of haughty. There you go. This is a so-called black woman, right? Eve in a nutshell, and some other and Israelite foreigner women too. But the so-called black woman leads the way. Even faggots want to act like them. Act like a so-called black woman. Haughty, arrogantly superior and disdainful. All right. So, moreover, saith the Lord Yahweh Shemashah, saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks. Hey, that's a so-called black woman. And wanton eyes, which means looking around, checking you out, sizing you up and down, in a lustful way. And, we've all experienced that, especially from the so-called black woman. Walking and mincing as they go and making a tinkling with their feet. And they could be with another man and they still check you out like that, walking and mincing as they go and making a tinkling with their feet, swaying their hips, making it quite obvious they're trying to get your attention. And you as a man, with our spiritual masculine radar, if you want to call it that, we notice that. And other women notice that as well, especially if you're walking with a woman. A woman will say, oh, look at that bee. She's trying to make you look at her or whatever, Verse 17. Therefore, the Lord Yahweh Shemashah will smite with a scab the crown of the daughters, the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts. All right. There's another scripture I want to get as well. It's about it's not coming to mind right now. I found it. Instead of sweet smell, stink, King James Version. Israelite women, so-called black women especially, was washing during slavery. The washcloth is used by lots of Israelite people in general to wash themselves. Especially the Edomites. Edomite men, they don't really use washcloths to wash themselves. They just use their hands and just give themselves a quick rinse. They don't really, that's why Edomite men stink. Edomite women have improved. They always know that they want to get the man, so they go a little bit further to clean themselves. But the so-called black woman has fallen into the trap. Hence the reason why the so-called white man and the heathen men stink and the so-called black woman stinks. you know. And that's why you got like certain instances where you'll see a so-called black woman. Then again, you got a lot of Reuben and Gad that look similar to because the tribes look similar. So you might see like a Pam Grier, natural long hair, pretty features. Pam Grier to me looks like Pam Grier to me looks like she looks like a girl who's could be East Indian. She's got East Indian type features to me. That's the way I see it. Pam Grier is very attractive, especially in her prime in the 70s. Very, very, very attractive woman. You know, you might see a Pam Grier now and again. With properly in shape. I mean, like she doesn't even work out. Her waist is slim, her hips are just curved, and she'll have a nice pair of breasts. Beautiful, beautiful shape. And some of them work out. Some women work out. Some women don't. You might see that now and again in the ancient world. Our women were very attractive, and they will be attractive again. All our women, for the most part, 12 tribes are attractive, but the so-called black woman is the ugliest. That's why the Lord cursed her. Okay, and even during slavery, the so-called black woman washed, but obviously from there on end, you know, Esau took certain privileges away, and the so-called black woman, the Lord put the spirit on the so-called black woman not to wash no more, not to wash properly anyway, and the Lord just made her unclean, you know, made her smell a certain way, and that's why when you see us like women cussing each other out, I've seen it as well, especially amongst the tribe of Benjamin and Judite women online as well. And I think I've seen it in person as well. Certain memories come to mind as a child. Women cussing each other out, especially when the Israelite women, especially the Southern Kingdom, they would say to me, your PUSSY stinks. They'll go to that straight away. Your pussy stinks. Why? Because they know they all have, women go to bathrooms and women talk to each other. Women say, "Oh, the bathroom smells," and you know, uh, it's because of women. You know, women's prisons smell because women don't wash themselves, and most women, all types of races of women are locked up together. You know, uh, but women in general don't keep themselves clean these days. But a good portion of those women that are locked up are so-called black women. Overall, you hear these sort of like people talking about it. You've experienced it as well. Uh, seeing it live and direct, women saying these things about each other, and you know, and and some of you men have probably been in situations where you've been with a woman that looks okay to you, but she's, when you get down to the business, she's not very right in that area, correct. I'm gonna leave it there. All right, Isaiah 3:24, Isaiah 3:24, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. All right, you smell, your pussy stinks, your hygiene is bad, you know, and instead of a girdle, a rent, which means, instead of like a shape, women wear a girdle nowadays to give themselves that shape, slim waist, breasts pushed up, hips show, hips, amplified or whatever, right? You used to naturally have that. Now it's like a rent, which means it's expanded. You're basically like a big Shirley. Instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of well set hair, baldness, and instead of a stomach, a girding of sackcloth and burning instead of beauty. Isaiah 3:24 basically says that you so-called black women, Eve especially, all the women are similar to this also. All right, in the hygiene and the fat body area, right? But the so-called black woman leads the way, because other women of other nations, for the most part, are fairly attractive. Yes, there's exceptions. There's ugly women amongst all nations, but the so-called black woman leads the way. Okay, it says here, right, that you will stink, you will be fat, you will have a bald head, right, and you will be ugly instead of beautiful. Now, who does that represent? That's Big Shirley. Um, most so-called black women in a nutshell. They have that masculine nature. They're ugly, they're unattractive, they wear wigs, weaves. Who's that? Exactly. Isaiah 3:24. And you've got the JOO women try to copy you. They shave their heads and wear wigs to try and make sure that, you know, uh, the way they look is aligning to prophecy, but they're just trying to make themselves fit in. The JOO women, the Amalekite, Edomite women actually can grow hair, but you ninja women can't. Isaiah 3 and 24, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of well set hair, baldness, and instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. It's like I'm speaking at a low as well. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, so I've got to keep it low. You know, there's a damn video. Oh, not that one. Where is it? Oh yeah. Okay. That's why nobody wants that. You know. You see a girl like that in the bar, no Jake's gonna approach her, man. You know what I mean? You see her, you go to a bar and there's a beautiful bunch of blonde, beautiful, fine-looking, Edomite-looking women and women of other nations. You're not gonna approach a black woman, man. Okay? Do you want burning instead of beauty? Do you want a fat bitch? Do you want a smelly bitch? Huh? You want a masculine, behaving woman? You can't handle me? Do you want all that, Jake? You know? You know? That's why Jake is ignoring women like that. Jakes who are ignoring so-called black women are in their right mind. They know where they're wanted. Let's go to the comment section here, man. Fellas, date a woman that has a great attitude and a great personality. Well, true. As a black man, I don't go to a Chinese buffet looking for fried chicken, even though they have it there. I'm not there for it. He's talking about Asian women. He's probably into, Moabite or Ammonite women. Look at this quick comment here. You black queens, queen actually means whore. Okay, all right. You black queens ran us off. You black queens ran us off. When the lights go off, when the lights go off, it all feel the same. And the lights are literally going to go off. When that electricity goes off, boy, and the power grid collapses, your women are going to be looking for, your husbands that you divorced that were actually so-called decent brothers, worked, and now you cheated on him with another Jake or an Edomite or a heathen. He's out there earning the daily bread, and and your excuse was that he wasn't there for you. How the fuck can he be there for you all the time when he's working? The women are going to suffer for all that, man. Look at that. Jake has said here, the other races of women have given him more respect, interest, and appreciation both publicly and privately. After spending most of my life renewing my passport, I'll take any fine woman that gives me respect as a man. See? Look at Jake saying here, if it ain't snowing, I ain't going. See, man, nobody wants you so-called black women, man. All right? The woman that you once were, everybody desired a Janet Jackson or Whitney Houston 40 years ago. That's out the window, you know? That blackety black shit's going out the window, man. Jake is going where he is appreciated. Jake is going where he's a wanted. Jake is going where he's got a meek, attractive, nice smelling woman. Jake is going where there's women with real hair. He doesn't have to spend shit amounts of money on or thousands on a damn wig or a weave or, to get your eyelashes glued on or whatever, to get crusty feet scrubbed down and cleaned up, Most of these women of other nations, yeah, they go to the beautician, of course, but they don't go it to the extent that you so-called black women do. And the other women of other nations still look way better than you. And other women of other nations don't have to change their hairstyle every week because they have their real hair. Other women of other nations can actually tie their hair into a bun because they've got long hair, or they can leave it down, or they can braid it. All right. And shit, women of other nations look better than you anyway with braids. Especially Northern Kingdom Israelite women look beautiful with braids, man, with their long natural hair. So you rejected the so-called black man, the Israelite man, the Judite man. Now the Judite man and Israelite men in general are rejecting you, so-called black woman, aka Eve, or the Judite woman. Anyway, all praise to you, Shalom. Nobody wants a so-called black woman.